Morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well today. It is Tuesday, and we continue our daily vlogs. I'm going to do something a little different today because there is a lot going on right now in the world, and if we were in the classroom right now, we would have a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about, and it saddens me that I can't be there for you to talk to me about these things because that is kind of what teachers do. We are there for you to talk to when you're unsure or when things are complicated and you don't understand. And I'm not claiming to understand them myself. It is a very difficult, very unusual well, it's not an unusual situation. That's a misnomer. But it is a very difficult situation right now in the world, and I wanted to address it a little bit. And I want to preface this by saying, first off, I'm not a person of color, nor am I American. What I am is I'm a history teacher, and I'm a Canadian history teacher. And oddly enough, I actually teach American history as well. So, Canadian history teaching American history. And every year when I start a history class, I like to preface with my students and with you guys that I don't just teach the good. I teach everything, and I leave it up to you to decide what you feel you need to take away from history. And I always say to my Canadian history students that Canadian history is not always sunshine and rainbows. Despite the stereotype and despite what we would like to believe about ourselves, Canada is not completely innocent in any way, shape, or form in terms of systematic racism. Just look at the First Nations people and Indigenous people of Canada. And these things are ongoing and continuing, and it's a pattern, and it's a horrible, horrible pattern in the world. And one of the patterns in when we look at the history of the United States is the relationship between white Americans and African Americans. And that's a big one that per- permeates all of history. And I like I liken it a lot to the fact that despite we are neighbors and we like to think we're better, we're not. And right now, what you're seeing in the United States is not because of one singular incident. It is because of an ongoing, systematic oppression of a people. And it's not equal. There's no equality there. And it's something that's been happening since the inception of America itself. And fairly enough with Canada as well. It's the same sort of thing. White privilege is a real thing, and it's something that a lot of people would rather think that they don't have, but they do, and they need to recognize it, and they need to realize that they need to become an ally to these people and to support the people that are fighting this good fight. And I wish I could. Unfortunately, where I am in rural Ontario is not necessarily the most friendly of places. There was no protests in my area. Let's say that. So this is my way of kind of getting the message out there, and for you guys to open a dialogue with you if you want to talk. I am here, and if you want to know more and you want to understand, because as I said, I may not be a person of color, but I am a history teacher, and I have seen patterns like this, and they cycle through, and it's not one singular incident. It's a constant flux, and it's something that keeps happening. And I've seen a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, it just came out of nowhere." It did not just come out of nowhere. This is not something that just comes out of nowhere. Things like this happen, and people push for change, and I really hope this time the change is going to come. I hope this time it's going to happen, because we've seen this before. And what happens? Everything just returns to the status quo. There needs to be real change. There's a real fight going on, and there's people really fighting for this. And I support everything that they do, and I support them, and I support anyone who supports them. because that's the most important thing right now is support. And it's not about any singular person, it's about people. And it's about all peoples. And it's something that needs to be, it's hard to explain without you guys without you guys looking at me and your help with this. So I want to extend the invitation to you guys to realize that there needs to be a dialogue. And if you want to start talking, and I'm here to talk to you about this. And if you have questions, please reach out, because of course, as we know, no one question is like all question, no question is stupid, right? We've had this discussion before, and it's something. And if you are interested in learning more, I would be happy to talk about some of the historical landmark cases and incidents in either Canadian history or American history. If you'd like to talk about either one of those, I would be happy to do that with you guys. So for now, for me, and hopefully I haven't put my foot in my mouth about this, but I have all the support in the world for the Black Lives Matter movement, and I honestly hope that this sparks real change in America. So I know a little heavy for my usual daily vlog, but I thought I would like to give a voice to some of the incidents going on right now and invite you guys that if you'd like to talk about it, we're not in the classroom, but I'd be happy to talk with you about any of those things. Okay, guys, that's it for me today. Have a good one.